Disneyland fans celebrate May the 4th as Disney Plus gets ready to celebrate Obi-Wan Kenobi. But Star Wars fanatics aren't the only ones with their eyes on Disneyland, as fanatic Texas Congressman Troy Nehls wants to open up Disney's airspace to everyone and possibly put all guests in harm's way in the process. And Disneyland is stepping up its character offerings, as you can find characters nearly in every land creating magical moments. We have construction updates and a Frontierland massacre. Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. It is my favorite time of the week. Taking a walk all around the Disneyland Resort, finding everything that's new to share with you. And hey, you want to talk about something new? Look at those new chicks that just showed up. Every week bringing you the circle of life that is the ever-changing Disneyland Resort. Over at Disney's California Adventure on Buena Vista Street, you can see that the fountain in the DCA hub is back to working, back to being alive, and adding so much life to the hub. I love the sound of this fountain. Jumping over to downtown Disney, Disney Plus spent a lot of co-op dollars decorating the construction walls to remind us all that we have the entire Star Wars franchise to watch over on Disney Plus. However, they did something interesting. Here is the original trilogy. Here is the prequel trilogy. The one trilogy that is not represented is the Disney trilogy. Oh no, maybe it's stuck in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. There was also a poster for Boba Fett and Mandalorian, but the one that I was most excited about was Crazy Old Ben from the Desert is showing up on our TVs at the end of this month. Friends, I got it wrong last week. I told you that this was going to be a Naboo meet and greet where everybody could meet Jar Jar Binks, and simply put, I just got it wrong. I had bad intel because the opposite of water is Bob Chapek Presents World of Sand is back, baby. Whee! Look at this masterful Obi-Wan Kenobi sandcastle. This is the type of marketing that I really enjoy, where it's obviously an ad for us to sign up to Disney Plus and watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. But at the same time as it's informing us, it's also entertaining us, looking at how well this artist was able to craft this out of the sand. I really enjoy the way that it's not fully rendered, that everything's kind of pushing up out of the sand. I'm a lifelong designer and illustrator, but I am not a sculptor, and I'm always amazed by the craft. This is such great work, and this little building right here kind of gave me some Batuu vibes. So I had to go over and see, is it exactly like what we saw back in Batuu? No, but it is inspired by. Was really hoping that that was an Easter egg, that there's going to be some Batuu inside of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Really looking for a Batuu to show up someplace inside of Disney Plus, but Batuu's now showing up inside of downtown Disney. Last week we showed you that one of these shipping containers was showing up full of merchandise. I had hoped that it would be full of May the 4th exclusives, but it was just kind of the same stuff that we see back inside of Batuu. What fun to see this prop make its way to downtown Disney. It fits in really well with the facade of the Star Wars Trading Post. Hold on, what is that I see? Jarvis. Enhanced footage.
Photobomb detected, Mr. Brickley.
Do we recognize this creep?
I believe this creep is your friend, Paul Theme Park Adventures, currently 11,000 subscribers. He live streams and builds Legos.
Well, let's challenge this guy to a Lego off for photobombing my update video.
I will do, Mr. Brickley, but I'll warn you, your chance of winning is about 1%.
So you're saying I've got a chance. Come at me, Paul! I challenge you to a Lego off. All right, I apologize for Paul's behavior. Now let's get back to the most reliable Disneyland weekly update series you can find. Oh, what's this? Another prediction that was wrong? I'm sorry, friends. Last week I predicted that this body of water would get turned into a nighttime Fantasmic themed around Star Wars, and it seems that I was a little bit off in that Disney decided to make it a cargo box display. I mean, I was close, right? You know, a place to fuel up Rey's speeder bike. I mean, you know, it was just slightly off on this prediction. That's it. I'm out of the predicting business. But over at the Lego store, there was a really interesting thing that was happening where they had a massive display encouraging younglings to help them create a 8-foot tall Yoda model. What's the ETA on 8-foot Yoda being done?
Around 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. That's my plan.
Nice.
I'm just living over here.
Whether or not the plans go according to plan is
the other plan.
Yes.
Over on Main Street inside of Disneyland, I've been following a little bit of light activity around the Silhouette Studio, and this sign gives me a little bit of hope because it says sort of a fictional story that the Silhouette Studio staff is over at an international symposium, but it also says, please join us on a later visit. giving hope that it will come back. Do you know that the waterways of Disneyland are dyed to create depth and a perception so that everything looks deeper or to better match the theming of the environment that it's in? Over at Snow White's Grotto, we got a really good shot at what it looks like when new water's put in and it hasn't been dyed, as maybe they're working on the infrastructure here of the fish that go around and spit out water with little jets that are inside of them. One of my favorite things about doing Update, though, is always catching the park in these various different moments of learning. Always seeing how the Disneyland sauce is made, if you know what I mean. And over at the Fantasyland Theater, we were able to spot some workers that are over there working on the infrastructure. Really a missed opportunity not having this already up in live performances. The Festival of the Lion King will be showing up this summer, but it would have been fun if this would have been a part of the Star Wars night. I'm really looking forward to this theater coming back to life and upping the entertainment inside of the park. But what I'm not looking forward to is the continued violence in Frontierland. Someone has got to do something about these settlers that are coming into town, and that lawman is me. You make me the sheriff of Frontierland and I promise you there'll be no more blood in the streets, or fruit punch, which is what this is. Friends, I never really understood Disney's Vacation Club, but over the last year I've become a big fan of it, and look at this. If this isn't a reason to join, getting to cruise around in an 8-seater Mickey Mouse themed golf cart? Sign me up! Charge my card today! And speaking of park entertainment, when are you going to perform your show?
It's going to be starting at 2 o'clock.
Just imagine you jumped up there and started tap dancing. Have a good day, sir. There you go, friends. There's a look at everything new that I was able to spot this week out at the Disneyland Resort, walking all around Disneyland, DCA, and downtown Disney. What do you say we jump into this week's Disneyland Update Deep Dive? All right, friends, this week's Disneyland Deep Dive is sort of an odd one. It seems that a Texas Congressman, Republican Troy Nehls, who assumed office on January 3rd, 2021, who formerly worked with the Richmond, Texas Police Department, but was fired for reasons including destruction of evidence, seems to want to join the very cool list of Republican elected officials that are on this culture war against Disney. Troy has begun a campaign to revoke the no-fly zones over Disneyland and Walt Disney World. He sent letters to the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and the U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, asking them each to revoke this special designation. After the terrorist attacks that took place on September 11, 2001, the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World received flight restriction status. The ban includes any unmanned remote-controlled devices such as drones. Nothing can fly below 3,000 feet and within 3 miles of Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Currently, there are the only 2 theme parks in the United States to have a no-fly zone designation, which I would say more theme parks should have this for public safety. Hey, look, it's a big sky out there, and there's plenty of room for all kinds of manned and unmanned aircraft, and aircraft flown by one man. At the end of the day, there is absolutely no reason for flights to take place over theme parks, stadiums, or any large-scale entertainment event. There's just no need for it. Taking Disneyland here in Southern California, there are plenty of ways for flights to get in and out of John Wayne Airport without going over the top of a theme park that happens to have at any given time tens of thousands of people inside of it. Congressman Troy really showed his true hand when he put up the tweet, "Disney does not run this country, Americans do." And this is political pushback in theater, trying to make everybody think, hey, we're standing up to the big evil corporation. But I want to give you this idea. Do you want to be inside of a theme park where possibly aircraft could crash on top of you? But do you also want to be inside of a theme park where people can fly around political ads, political banners? There's footage of people writing religious messages over Walt Disney World. Keeping the skies free of everyone keeps the skies free of everyone and their horrible ideas. I remember once being inside of the Disneyland Resort where it was being lapped all day long on the outer 3-mile perimeter of a blimp that was shaped like a minion. To me, it was a very gross, empathetic marketing attempt to get somebody's attention inside of a rival space. There are plenty of people out there that are fantastic drone pilots. There are also lots of people that just bought a drone and don't know what they're doing that could easily crash one on top of somebody and cause a lot of harm and damage. And why? What good comes out of just anybody being able to fly a drone over a theme park or a stadium? The political climate in this country is getting intense. Imagine standing in line for an attraction at a Disney theme park or any theme park and having to explain to your child the banner that's being flown over the top top of the theme park where somebody is outraged that Disney, quote unquote, has gone woke, or as I like to say it, polite. The bar of entry to get into flying is incredibly low, the lowest it's ever been. Consumer products are making it easy for a lot of people to put things up in the sky. Do you really want to unlock that potential? Aside from the Disney parks that obviously I'm in love with, but any place that I go, whether it be a Coachella or a Super Bowl, I don't go to either of those, but you get what I'm saying. Do you really think that the skies need to be opened up to everyone? Or should it still remain that these are areas in our country you're not allowed to fly commercial aircraft over, and these are areas that no one is allowed to go over as a hobbyist? Unless, as we see from this footage, a helicopter pilot over the pandemic got proper flight permissions and did go over top of the park and created all of this amazing footage. And to Congressman Troy, you're right. Disney doesn't run the country. Americans do. And I would think that most Americans would want to assure as much safety as possible and not lose a blanket of safety due to some pissing match that you're having with quote unquote a woke business. Sadly, I think that this political pressure on Disney is going to get worse before it gets better, but I would love to know below, and I hate that we even have to talk about this while we're talking about our beloved escapism, but they're coming for the escapism. They're coming for the corporation, and they're trying to find every way possible to take out what control Disney has acquired over its nearly 100 years of operating, and 100 years is a long time. The culture changes. The idea of society changes. What used to be acceptable is no longer acceptable. Disney is stuck in the middle of a culture war, and this war is not going away anytime soon. Would love to hear your thoughts below. Do you think there should be flight restrictions over not only just Disney parks, but all theme parks and all major entertainment events? To me, it'd be very sad to see something tragic happen and someone lose their life because someone else can't deal with the fact that America Chavez has two moms. And I believe you're kidding yourself if you think that this is really about the skies or really about Disney having control. It's a pushback, a political pushback. All right, let's recover from all that nastiness. I'm going to say that Disney has been going harder than ever recently on putting characters all around the park. And some of the moments they have been creating are so magical to see that a lot of frustrations I've been feeling lately have been washed away by seeing these good times happen over and over again with my own eyes.
These are the moments that are better than rides, better than any attraction. These are the moments that are absolutely the magic. And I'll tell you right now, the magic is back at Disneyland, and not a moment too late.
And it's one of those things that's never been a big part of my Disney appetite. Like, I don't really get photos taken or interact with the characters, but I've realized that seeing others do spreads that contagious feeling of seeing other people get lost in the magic.
That's so great. I love that so much. Characters like living in the park. I mean, Disney in a way is maybe overdoing it than they ever did before the pandemic, really laying it on thick, and I absolutely adore it.
Seeing the Royal Theater comes back gives so many more families and young ones an opportunity to not only rest their feet, catch a little entertainment, but then get to meet and greet with their characters that they just saw perform. Overall, it has been fantastic seeing this come back. It really has been the cherry on top that was missing, that I didn't realize was missing until I found it again. And standing here and filming these little girls having fun with Princess Tiana as they're going through the rivers of America, I can only imagine what kind of imagination that creates, what kind of memory that puts into their minds of having this magical moment where it's them and a princess on a riverboat. This is why I love this place. Because not only does it make dreams come true, but it instills imagination in our youth. All right, friends, kind of a quiet week out at the resort, so we're going to take our project tracker and our construction and just consolidate it into one segment this week. I was able to get a little bit of new footage on this pathway that will soon take the Pixar Pier Hotel over to the Pixar Pier. I've traced it out for you right now, so you kind of get an idea of how that will work if you're staying at the hotel to get your own access point into DCA. As you can see, you will go from the soon-to-be-called Pixar Pier Hotel across the street, and then when you come over to the Grand California Hotel, you'll probably have to show a security person your room key that will then enable you to go down this pathway on the other side of the railing. You can see the construction work that's happening in there inside of the brush. Looking at it a little bit closer, you can see that you'll be On the other side of the road, you'll have trees and all that around you to sort of set up a little bit of a vibe and kind of keep it like a quiet space that will usher you into the park. You can see you'll be able to go across this walkway here and eventually take a hard left that will get you running parallel with Disney's California Adventure, and eventually it is believed that this is the entry point that you will come in. So a nice little perk for that hotel that seems to be going pretty quickly in its construction, and magic hours are back, so that'll be a nice quiet way to get into DCA before anyone else. Okay, now let's move over to New Orleans Square. Here is the footage from 2 weeks ago, where you can see they had a lot going on right at the edge of the entryway of Pirates of the Caribbean. You can see they were mostly doing sidewalk work. Shout out to the sidewalk gang. Standing over the bridge 2 weeks ago, you could see how much equipment they had everywhere. They were doing some brickwork. I mean, really a massive retooling of this part of New Orleans Square. Now let's go to the footage last week that you didn't see, but I shot. You can see new sidewalk being laid inside, as well as over to the left, that brickwork was starting to take place. Well, coming to the park this week, we noticed that this entire part had been deconstructed and taken down. It is now open to the public, giving us a real idea with this one spot where we could get the camera easily in a spot where we could see the construction take place of the brickwork that's going on, as well as the sidewalk work that everybody will be traveling on. After a couple of weeks, the sidewalk is dulled down and it's looking pretty good. So this is the exact same spot here on the banister, looking over what used to be a construction zone. So a lot of that sidewalk you're seeing is brand new, and then the construction walls that are over to the left of your screen, that's where that masonry work was being done. So I believe when that wall comes down, we'll see some fresh red bricks over there, creating another one of those planters that can also be used as a seat. Hold on, folks, what's this coming into us right now? Dependable, late breaking, Disneyland news you can trust. Breaking news live from inside of Disneyland. That's right, friends. We have breaking news. Update was able to spot it before anyone else. Pirates of the Caribbean is gonna open any day now. The refilling of the water flume. You saw it here first, folks. Pirates will be open any day. An update exclusive.